Oh,
Traveler, Paimon, it's been a long time.
yes it has. Hello.
Oh, hey, Hoishin. Long time no see.
Dead
Look forward to
ass.
meeting you here. How's work these days?
Thanks to the help of people like you and colleagues like Ganyu, better all the time. But I've been feeling distracted at work lately. I just feel constantly agitated.
Has something happened?
It's a long story. But my father, he's thinking of stepping down from the Tianshu position due to
Oh,
health
shit.
issues.
Huh? What's wrong with Uncle Tian?
Nothing specifically. He's not unwell. He says he's just increasingly low on energy these days.
Huh.
He's always said, old age comes for us all in the end. Still, I just can't help but feel a little emotional watching it happen to him.
I mean, definitely.
Anyway, my father's currently on the
Anyone
second floor
would.
of Yangsheng Tea House. Why don't you come pay him a visit with me?
Let's do
He
it.
seems very fond of you, too. I'm sure chatting with you will make him very happy.
Let's do it.
Sure, let's go.
Lego.
Uncle Tian, we're here to chat with you.
Oh? What a lovely surprise. Welcome. Hoishin, why don't you go downstairs?
Old man
and
NPC
get the
number
shopkeeper to make us a
2508.
fresh pot of tea. I heard that you've been traveling all over the place recently. I would very much like to hear your adventure stories.
Is everything okay?
Hoishin told you, didn't she? Don't worry, I'm quite all right. It's just the years gradually catching up with me. As I grow older, I'm starting to find that with many things, though the mind is willing, the flesh is weak. Especially recently, I've noticed a rather drastic drop in my energy levels.
Eesh.
I am still very much in good standing as the Tianshu today. Nevertheless, I wish to pass on the position before my mental acuity begins to decline beyond redemption.
To
How
who?
difficult is it to transfer the Tianshu position?
Oh, well, you see, the Tianshu is a rather unique position among the Liyue Qixing.
Elaborate.
Historically speaking, the Tianshu rarely appears in public. We stay behind the scenes, planning and giving advice, so a public selection process would not be suitable. We also want to keep any prospective Tianshu candidates free from influence by outside forces, so we tend to be as discreet as possible in their assessment and appointment. For these reasons, the incumbent Tianshu typically recommends their candidate of choice, and this is then approved by the other Qixing members.
So, in other words, you pick someone, and then Lady Keqing, Lady Ningguang, and the other Qixing appoint them?
Correct. Unfortunately, due to my health, I
Gotta
won't
have a
be
full
able
ass
to
council
assess
for
every
it.
candidate myself. Not to despair, however, because I found someone exceptionally capable to act on my behalf as assessment officer. In fact, I believe you recently became acquainted with her yourself.
Who could it be?
Who is it?
It's a
I'm
mystery.
heartbroken. I thought it might take you a little longer than this to forget all about me.
Yelan, I could never.
It's Yelan!
Jackpot. Uncle Tian here asked me to assess 3 candidates for him. Fancy joining me? You'll be among the first to get to know the next Tianshu. Might be a good opportunity for you.
What do you think?
It's a good opportunity for me.
Paimon thinks so too.
Whatever the lady
It's a bad
says.
thing to be on good terms with a new Qixing, right?
I agree.
All right then. Though, I gotta say, Uncle Tian, you say you're into behind-the-scenes planning? My work's of the covert variety too. Don't you think I might make a good Tianshu?
Huh? Yelan, you want to be the next Tianshu?
She's going for power.
Opposed to the idea, but I suspect Ningguang wouldn't let you go very easily after how long you've been working together.
True.
So, how about this? If your investigation reveals that none of the other candidates are qualified for the position, I'll recommend you for the job.
Deal. Well, you guys take your time. Everything's all set for the assessments to go ahead. Meet me on the first floor when you're ready. Until then, have a pleasant conversation. Oh, and no need to pay for your tea. As the new owner of this fine establishment,
Wait, what?
this runs on the house.
Wait, since when? After telling Uncle Tian about your recent adventures, you return to the entrance of the tea house. Wait a minute, what?
You're all set?
Businesswoman, entrepreneur, sugar
Uncle
mommy?
Tian seems really worn down. It's like all his energy's gone.
Yeah, it may sound harsh, but Uncle Tian is past his prime. He's not cut out for this anymore. So he's recommended 3 candidates. Their names are Qinwei, Mingbo, and Zhi.
High copium title? Excuse me. The title is not copium. For those of you that are watching later on YouTube, the title is If I Do Yelan's Story Class, maybe she will come home. It's not copium! It's just, it's hope. It's hopium. It's good, listen.
Qinwei is a wealthy entrepreneur. Mingbo works at the Liyue Ministry of Civil Affairs, and Zhi is focused on study and travel. Try to keep all that in mind. Of course, it doesn't really matter if you forget, since we'll be assessing them at Yuehai Pavilion in a short while.
Qianwei, Mingbo, Zhi. Paimon should be able to remember their names, but what does the assessment involve exactly?
Let's leave that until we get to Yuehai Pavilion. All right. Heads in the game, people. The stakes don't get much higher than a change in the Qixing.
You know, we gotta
can't afford to miss
take
anything,
right
no
and
matter
break
how
left.
small.
We gotta get ahead of this game.
We'll keep our eyes wide open.
Let us inspect. Lettuce inspect. Inspecting the lettuce. Number 15. Burger King's foot lettuce. God, I can't even fucking say that straight. Number 15. Burger King foot lettuce. The last thing you want in your burger. God, it's so fucking dumb. I love dumb shit. Anyone who likes my channel also loves dumb shit.
My legs are getting sore. What is wrong with this assessment officer? This is a huge occasion and I don't even get a chair.
Holy
I've
shit!
dealt with all kinds of people in my time, but never have I been made to stand while I'm waiting for an appointment.
Is this man okay?
I think it's fine.
What kind of
That's
a rich
called
kid?
being
Bullshit.
complacent. If you're happy to just accept the way things are, you'll never be able to change anything in the future.
I don't like this guy.
Come on. That's just... Now you're just being unreasonable.
Agreege.
All right, you two. Let's not get into a big argument over this. It's not worth it.
No, let's do it. It'll be fun.
Qianwei, that was a bit uncalled for. And Mingbo, cut him some slack. We've all been standing around for a while. It's natural to be getting irritable. Look, how about this? There's no rule saying we're obliged to stand up while we wait, so why don't we borrow some chairs from the guild nearby?
Fine. They're not the best quality chairs, to be sure. But under the circumstances, it
Bro.
would be better than nothing.
It looks like all 3 candidates have arrived.
Oh, it was those 3?
Mm-hmm. We'll meet them formally soon. Before that, let me run you through the assessment process.
Let me know.
I've split it into 2 stages: current affairs and planning, and face-to-face interview. In the first stage, candidates are required to submit a manifesto for Liyue's development.
Manifesto.
In the second stage, we will ask them some questions in person.
That's a
Writing
lot of
manifesto
reading.
takes time, so I informed them of
Yeah.
this requirement in advance.
Okay, good.
These are the reports they submitted.
Oh, shit.
Wow. One of them is really thick.
It's also worth mentioning a stipulation I gave them. Whoever is
Thick
appointed as
does
the
not
new
mean
Tianshu
better.
will be expected to implement their plan as put forward in their manifesto.
Don't interpret that in
Failing
any
the
other way.
occurrence of some cataclysmic event, they will not be permitted to change their plan. Therefore, these 3 piles of documents in front of us represent where each candidate stands on key policy issues. There's still some time. Have a skim through, get a first impression of what each person's proposing. I'll be waiting off to the side. Just let me know when you're done.
Check the candidate manifestos. Yes. His manifesto addresses many commercial issues and provides... Ooh! His view seems to be that regulations and incentives are both indispensable. No, that's not
Finished?
what I didn't mean to... Mingbo's manifesto covers domestic affairs quite comprehensively, focusing on people's livelihoods. The core principle seems to be the greater good means a world that works for everyone. Xi's manifesto covers domestic affairs, foreign affairs, and checks and focusing to problem solving. It provides concise and clear solutions to various problems. It's so thick you only have time to skim through it roughly. Yeah, I don't know about that, Scoob. I don't know about that, Scoob. If he's making it super long-winded on purpose, I think that's a bad sign.
Finished, huh? What did you think?
Everyone took it very seriously.
Of course they did. They have the chance to be picked as the new Tianshu, so you can bet they're putting their best foot forward. And keep in mind, whoever gets in has to execute their plan as written. Nobody wants to have any regrets.
What did you think, Yelan?
That's for me to know and you to find out.
Hey!
We can talk more after the interviews. We'll see the candidates
Coy.
now. Let's do one at a time. Start with Chenwei.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh? So you two are the assessment officers, are you?
Yes. I am here to
I had
assess.
assumed that given the great import of
I
this
hate this
situation,
person
Lady Ningguang would
so
perhaps be
much.
assessing us in person. I certainly hadn't imagined I'd be seeing 2 entirely unfamiliar faces.
I hate this one.
I trust you've read through my manifesto? I'd be more than happy to clarify any details you found difficult to grasp. It was written with an expert audience in mind, after all.
Mind your tone, mister.
Relax. It wasn't intended as a personal slight against anyone in particular. I was simply stating a fact.
I will have order on this man's head. Excuse me. Did you learn your communication skills from Cloud Retainer?
Cloud Retainer? You know this Adeptus?
Yeah. Show some respect on my
yes,
name.
I remember now. You must be the traveler that people are constantly talking about. With your sterling reputation, you must have a respectable level of erudition. Perhaps you will be able to understand the concepts
A respectable
I have put
level of
forward.
fucking what now?
Yeah, although I
You
sure
what,
get
mate?
my hopes up.
Best fucking head in the swammy mum.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes. Please introduce yourself.
I'm, Mingbo. I work in the Ministry of Civil Affairs. I've worked there for, 9 years.
Oh, he's
5
nervous.
months, and 3 days. In that time, I've handled, 2,347 cases. I have 12 active cases at the moment. They should be concluded in, 16 days. My current work is related to urban planning, and I'm also
That's a
responsible
lot.
for auditing the accounts. To be more precise, there are 3 parts to the accounts, namely...
Is it just Paimon, or is he not very good at public speaking?
Nope, he's
You
just
know
not
what?
good.
Let's leave the self-introduction there and move on to some questions.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yelan forces her way through a few questions. Whoops.
Hello. Not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little nervous.
Well, at
What
least
would you
he's
like to
honest.
know? You're here to assess me, so ask away and I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability.
Your manifesto is very wide in its scope, but you don't seem to be personally involved in many of the specific fields. How can you be sure that you have the ability to put your plan into action?
Adjusting in school chair. That was blunt.
Very fair question. I completely understand where you're coming from. But I'm confident in my plan. I've visited many different places, talked to lots of people with far more expertise than myself, and my manifesto is the conclusion of these efforts. Of course, two different problems can be interconnected in very complicated ways, and you might reach two very contradictory conclusions depending on which one you're focusing on. What I've tried to do is strike a balance. In other words, present an optimal solution to all the problems as a whole.
How do you plan to determine whether you are right or wrong about your proposed solution being the optimal one?
A great question. Well, I'd start by having my colleagues and the secretaries of the Uehai Pavilion evaluate any proposals before implementation. Post-implementation, it would all come down to the results. If it turned out that my judgment was to blame for poor results, I would take responsibility.
Nice answer. All right, next question.
After asking Ji a few questions, Yelan sends him on his way.
Seems like a great guy. Everything he said was thoughtful and logical, and he was just a pleasure to listen to.
Meh. Needs a better outfit.
Here's my take on what we just learned. As you saw, Qianwei is highly knowledgeable. He proposes many excellent ideas in his manifesto which effectively target the big issues. But he is very proud and incredibly stubborn. He doesn't care much about other people's feelings. Mingbo's plan is more thorough and more measured. You can tell he's meticulous in his work, very detail-oriented. But he and Qianwei are otherwise polar opposites. Mingbo is not very articulate and comes across as very timid in conversation.
Perfect summary. Paimon couldn't agree more. You're good at this, Yelan.
Last but not least, Yi.
Oh, that's how you say his name?
Details, his methodology
Oops.
is sound, and his proposals cover a broad range of fields, which is quite a rare feat. The depth he goes into in each and every area means it can only be a product of painstaking work. Plus, he is modest and good at dealing with people. But what really interests me is that many of his views happen to coincide with Uncle Tien's. Having someone like Yi take the position would certainly put Uncle Tien's mind at rest.
Great.
We'll see. Let's go back and report to Uncle Tien.
You tell Uncle Tien about the assessment process.
I see. Then it's more or less as I anticipated.
All right, then let me ask this. The ideas in Yi's manifesto are very similar to your own. Is there any particular reason behind this?
Oh, I didn't want to say anything when I gave you the list of candidates, for fear of affecting your judgment. But I can tell you now, those three candidates have all studied under me in the past. It's only natural that they share some similarities with me. But Qianwei went on to focus on his business, and Mingbo has always been occupied with his work at the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Of all of them, Yi was with me for the longest duration.
Whoa. So how did you get to know them all, Uncle Tien?
Qianwei was referred to me by an old friend. Mingbo came to my attention in the course of my work. As for Yi, I was pure happenstance. We first met while fishing.
Oh.
Gradually, as we got to know each other, we started discussing all sorts of topics. Yi came from a poor family, and his parents died when he was very young.
Shit.
But he was a gifted student and a fast learner.
Sad.
He reminded me of a younger version of myself. So I started out giving him a few words of advice when we were out fishing and noticed how quickly he got on.
It sounds like his family to you.
Quite. And now, all of a sudden, he's grown into a mature young man. It's a joy to see. But it also gets one thinking. The young are growing up, and I am growing old. How time flies. No one can escape the cycle of life.
I don't know, Uncle Tien. You still seem in pretty good shape to me. You might have another few years of work left in you, don't you think?
Oh, you. There's really no need to console me. Having less energy than I used to isn't such a bad thing. It just means I finally have a good reason to retire and spend my days doing what old men like me should be doing. Going fishing whenever I feel like it.
He has a point.
You sure love
He has a
fishing,
point.
Uncle Tien.
Ooh, there's nothing quite like
Let the
fishing to
man
pass
fish.
the time. Ooh, and freshly caught fish, they make the most beautiful fish soup with barely any preparation required.
Fresh fish soup. Mmm, sounds tasty.
Doesn't it? Also, some time ago, Jury purchased a very special recipe from an old fisherman.
Ooh.
When we've been fishing recently, Jury always brings some extra ingredients he prepared in advance. The addition of these makes the soup taste even more wonderful. That flavor makes for a fond memory. But at my age, who knows how many more chances I have left to taste it again.
Very many, I'm sure.
Oh, can Paimon come next time too?
Paimon,
really wants
Paimon,
to try it.
Paimon,
Let's
just let
get
them
back to the
have their
matter at hand.
fucking moment.
Uncle
Oh my
Tien.
god.
We've reported back. Do you have a verdict?
I appointed you as the assessment officer, and I trust your judgment. Had you not asked me why Jury's ideas were so similar to mine, I was not going to mention my history with any of them. This decision must be guided by what is fair and right. Please disregard all other considerations and make your final decision only after a thorough review of each candidate's talents and capabilities.
On
Remember,
it.
you must be thorough.
Sir, yes, sir.
Understood. Come on, let's go talk somewhere else.
Bye-bye, Uncle Tien. Look after yourself.
Bye-bye. You follow Yelan outside the tea house.
So, it's gonna be Jiri, right? His manifesto was written well, and he's the best speaker.
Easy. Let's not rush. There's no time limit for this assessment.
Or is there?
So, are you gonna give them more tests or something?
No, nothing like that. The assessment itself is complete. But let me give you a word of advice. Things are not always as they appear. The biggest no-no in intelligence work is to only get information from the person of interest themselves. The truth is almost always hidden beneath many layers of deception. You have to get information through many different channels. For example, Wenyuan, Shanghua.
Yes?
Whoa, hello?
Lady Yelan, what are your orders?
This girl really called her subs in.
Who are they? Where did they come from?
Listen, Paimon. Listen. Sometimes... You know what? Never mind.
Did they scare you? These two are Wenyuan and Shanghua. They work for me. As my trusted assistants, they are always
Yeah, that's a
standing
term.
nearby.
That's a term
They
for
also perform various assignments as required. Shanghua is a business expert who gets his information by trading. Wenyuan relies on word of mouth. And there's also Upei, who's not here right now.
That meathead must have been out there on sea surveillance for some time now. Is he all right? I seem to remember that he can't swim.
Nothing can take that guy down. Certainly not a little wind and waves.
Shanghua, visit all the commerce guilds and look into Qianwei's background. Wenyuan, go to the Ministry of Civil Affairs and look through Mingbo's work files.
Yes, ma'am.
So what about Jiri?
There go the S words.
Jir-Yi. Well, obviously, as the most promising candidate, we will be investigating him ourselves.
I've been
Let's go to the
bet.
docks
I've
first.
been bet.
Lots of people passing through there. You can find out all kinds of things.
Thank you for the
If
bets.
we're looking for information, why don't we try talking to Bulai, the owner of Wanyu Boutique?
Let's
He
do it.
does business at the North Wharf. Maybe he has some news for us.
That's actually not a bad idea. Let's go and ask him.
Go to the North Wharf. Don't mind if I do. No one can stop me from getting to the North Wharf. Not even God himself. Or herself. Or their self.
What am I doing here today?
Look, your asking price for this batch is just too high. I can't buy in at this price. How am I supposed to turn a profit?
Just fueling that pad addiction. What pad addiction? I don't have a pad addiction. I can stop anytime I want.
Come on, hear me out. I'm telling you, this is the single best batch of Sunsetias ever. You won't find anyone who disputes that. I accidentally dropped one into a well, and even the water turned sweet. Even so... Alright. I'll let you in on a little secret. The boss of Second Life also wants to buy from me, but I haven't responded yet.
Second Life?
If you won't
The
take
video
him,
game?
I'll just have to partner with them instead. And neither of us...
Roto VR chat?
Okay, well, when you put it that way, I'll accept your asking price. I'll take all your stock. Don't sell a single one to Second Life.
The trader who was negotiating with Bolai leaves.
Oh, what are you doing here? And to be clear, these Sunsetias are mine. I got to them first. Don't get any ideas.
Knock yourself out, man.
Actually, we want to ask you about a guy called Juri. Have you heard of him before?
Thank you for the pets.
Jerry?
Thank you for the pets. I've been
Yes, he's
pat.
quite
Thank you for the
well known.
pets. Thank you
I've
for the
heard
pets.
a story about him.
I can
They
stop
say
anytime
he
I
was
want.
born into poverty. His parents died when he was young, and he was treated cruelly by the local community. One of his neighbors was terribly rude to him all the time, but Juri never retaliated. And when his neighbor went bankrupt, he even helped support the family.
Oh, damn.
He returned cruelty with kindness, injustice with peace offerings. A gentleman of talent and character, and how did I not notice him sooner?
This is a little sussy.
Maybe I'm
He's
not
laying
too
it on
late.
thick.
If I could hire him to be the brand ambassador,
He's
for
laying it on
Mihoyo
real
boutique.
thick.
Oh, he sounds like a decent man. We can
I don't
finally
trust
pay
this.
the
Yelan
salary.
doesn't trust this. Look at that face. She
Why
knows
are
something's
you
up.
asking about him anyway? You aren't looking for a brand ambassador too,
As if you
are
don't know.
Well then, in that case, the higher bidder takes the... that's Juri right over there.
What a
Why don't we go and
coincidence.
talk to him.
Where?
It's him, all right. Looks like he's chatting with Linlong. Come on, let's follow them and listen in. Try not to let him see you. We want this information to be as truthful as possible.
I'll just go and fetch an employment contract. Hey, don't try and cut me out of this. Hey!
I understand. Let's walk and talk.
Oh,
What's the hurry?
fuck.
Don't get too close, or he'll see you.
I'm being nagged by Yelan.
Try not to let him see you. We want this information.
I understand. Let's walk and talk. So, you were looking to buy a wineware set? Oh, now I can see that you're a connoisseur, so I won't bother trying to con you.
I'm just
I
looking at
trust
this
you
barrel.
understand our shop quite well?
It's normal. I'm just looking at this barrel now. It's normal. It's normal. Oh,
The
what a
truth
nice.
is, an old friend of mine who
What a
thought
cool
that I
barrel.
drank
What a cool barrel.
He fancies himself as a man of culture, but doesn't care for needless extravagance. So I thought I might buy him
I'm
a set
also a
of
bit of a
high-quality
woman of
fakes.
culture, if you
Very
get what I'm
thoughtful of
saying.
you. Leave it to me then. Come and collect it at Shigu Antiques whenever is convenient.
I'm looking at this barrel. What a cool chest. What a cool chest. Look at that chest.
Thank you very much,
What
Miss
a cool,
Lima.
nice chest.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Juri. These days, it's quite rare for someone of your standing to still keep up with their old friends. It's nice to see. I'll be sure to pick out a good set for you. You can count on me.
What a cool. Oh! I did it!
Juri seems everyone. Are you satisfied now, Yelan? Seems like everyone thinks Juri's a great guy.
We shouldn't jump to conclusions just yet. Let's go check out the wharf where he usually goes fishing.
Let's do it.
Do we have to?
Yes, Paimon.
Wait, you're not just trying to dig up some dirt on Juri because you want to be Tianshu yourself, are you?
Paimon, she'd
Maybe
never.
I am, maybe I'm not. But hey, if I do become Tianshu, I'll look out for you guys. You'll be able to try all the finest food for free. How does that sound?
Wow. 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 The manipulation, the gaslight gatekeep girl boss of it all.